Hello.
So,
How you doing?
hey, so, I just got a question, and it's like a personal thing
Yeah.
about like relationships that I noticed. So what is it called when when you don't like somebody, but like you get upset when they move on? I know that's like weird, but I feel like I struggle with that. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
When you don't like somebody, but you get upset when they move on.
Yeah, like I wish I wasn't like that. Like I don't care, but at the same time I do. Like it bothers me.
Okay.
Is it like an ego thing or?
So is this somebody you were in a relationship with
No.
or
Well,
date?
kind of a little bit. I feel like, but it's like with like random like guys that I don't find attractive or just basic general stuff like that.
So
Like I
guys you
feel
were
like,
never attracted to.
huh?
So guys you were never attracted to.
Yeah, and they ask me out and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't really like you like that, and then they move on to like another girl. So
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I would say that's an ego thing. I don't know if there's probably a name for it. I've never came across it though. But yeah, it's definitely related to the ego. I would imagine that like were those guys who were like talking to you a lot trying to get you to ask you out, or did they just kind of ask you out once you turned them down, then they moved on?
I feel like sometimes it'll be the type of guys that don't take no for an answer. But at this, I feel like me personally, I feel like it doesn't really matter the like situation. I mean, maybe it does because I mean you're the relationship advice person. So, but most of the time it's just like, dang, like they moved on. I it's probably because like I want them to still like me and give me the attention, but like at the same time I don't want it. Like it's bad if I'm being honest, and I'm like admitting that it's a problem for me. But like I don't know, like I just wanted like if there was an actual name for
Yeah,
that. Or,
I don't know if there's a name for it, but I'm asking questions to kind of get to like the core
oh,
problem. So these are guys who like didn't just ask you off on a one-off situation. In your experience, this happens
yeah,
with guys who consistently give you attention and ask you out, and you turn them down, then they eventually get
yeah.
into a relationship. Okay, so that means that you have a problem with external validation, right?
Mhm.
So the attention that you get from them makes you feel valuable,
Mhm.
right? And then when they get with somebody else, they're no longer giving you attention.
Right.
So that
That's what I
source
think.
that source of value has disappeared.
Right.
So it was never about them. It was just about like the currency that they were
Yeah.
providing you. Like the attention was a currency. It was like payment almost.
Mhm.
So the way out of that is to begin validating yourself, right? So that means making yourself feel good. Being more goal oriented when you accomplish things. You are your biggest cheerleader, right? You
Mhm.
speaking life over yourself. You congratulating yourself over the smallest things, right?
Mhm.
When you do that, you start to generate that same feeling internally. So where like
Right.
you don't need somebody else to give you that type of feedback. So even
Yeah.
if it is down to like calling yourself beautiful, right? Because that's probably some of the value we're getting from them is more aesthetic compliments. Um, yeah, just bigging up your aesthetics, calling yourself beautiful, telling yourself you're
Yeah.
that girl in the mirror, right? That will start training you to start validating yourself internally more. Okay.
And also, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one asking about a relationship I was in before. I had him on my profile picture, and I was asking about him, like about the ADHD thing and like certain things like that. I feel like what I noticed about because we're not together anymore, but I feel like the reason why it was so because I dated people with ADHD before, but I feel like he didn't really have like good social skills because he went to a school that was like for bad kids, I guess, like, and they like were paid to go to school, if that makes sense. So he didn't really have like friends, and to this day, like he has friends, but they're mostly online. So I feel like that's kind of where like it was getting really bad because it's like he didn't really like he had people to talk to, but it wasn't like, oh, I can go to like go out with my boys like in real life type thing. And I just felt like that was kind of like not good in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
You got a question about that?
not. I mean, do you have anything else? I mean, I don't really have a question
Oh,
about it.
okay.
Do
You
you
were just
think
sharing.
that's the reason why, or
Say it again.
is that the reason why like his ADHD could be bad because of like high school, like not being social in high school for real, or
How is his ADHD being bad manifesting?
so like he has impulsivity.
Okay.
So like randomly he just says anything out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I looked it up and it's able to be controlled. You just have to work on like critical thinking, and it's just like he says he's working on it and things like that, but it was no change.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
so but you said that he also didn't have a lot of friends and most of his friends were online?
yeah,
Yeah, that probably plays a part into it because he never got the social feedback. A lot of people with ADHD learn to mask.
right,
So they learn to control that, right? And even the desire to mask comes from negative social feedback. So
yeah.
if
He
he's in a
goes
situation
around.
where he was never receiving negative social feedback because he's online,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, he probably would be under developed in that area.
Yeah. So yep, that's all I gotta say though. And thank you.
No problem, love. You take care. All right, Josh J, you still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up?
Like not much. I'm trying to figure out like if you're dating a female who you guys were dating each other and for a year um and you were like
Your audio, bro. Your audio's coming in very weird. It's like kind of choppy.
okay, hold on. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're dating somebody for like dated a female for a year, and you guys had marriage in mind, but however, circumstances, situations, like you guys just never worked out, and like you guys had spoke, when after you broke up, like spoke over the situation, like just spoke over whatever issue it was, apologized, and just came to agreement that it was gonna be friendship. But then the female, then she takes like out of nowhere, just starts going off about everything that every issue, whatever issue she had, and just like kind of like blasting you and all that stuff. Like what would you say in that situation with a person like that?
What is your question?
Like what would you do in that circumstance, in that situation?
Where you were dating a woman and then it ended?
And it ended, and then like okay, so you guys had like kind of, you thought that you resolved whatever it was, you apologized, and then but then she like then she texts you out of nowhere, she's sending you these long messages and cursing you out in the messages and all the issues that she had, and and telling you to go ahead and go on, but like you thought that like it was already over and we already apologized, and
Is she messaging you things that you have already like talked about and apologized for?
yes.
Give me an example.
All right, say for example,
Like a real
like
example.
we didn't get to go out a lot because I had like a crazy schedule, really. I was between two cities and stuff like that, and we didn't get to go out a lot and stuff like that. So you know we did kind of interact and stuff like that, but it wasn't like as she would want it to be. And, I apologize for that. But then like she'll just bring it up. She'll bring up that. She'll bring up just anything that you could think of, and and this and telling you that you manipulated her, you used her for the year, and that's not the case.
How long ago did y'all end?
Like 3 months ago.
Okay. And when did you apologize for these things?
We're kind of still like interacting, not interacting, like kind of just cordial conversation back and forth, and then I just like
You didn't answer my
even
question.
in that time
You
when we
did.
ended, and then even after that, maybe like a few weeks after that, yeah,
So a few weeks after it ended, you apologized.
yeah.
Okay. How
Even
did?
in the relationship, I always apologize every time she's going off. I just take the take the blame, even if it's not me, even if whatever she's saying is incorrect.
Okay. And how did she receive the apology?
She'll receive it, but like maybe like a day after, she'll go right back. Like
How did
she
she? How
at
did
first
she?
she was it's
How did
like
she receive the apology when you gave it?
she receives it.
Like, what does that look like? Receiving it.
Like okay, you'll receive it, and then if she was like on 100, and you apologize maybe like in a few hours. You like I will always give her space, and then we'll chop it up later.
Brother,
Talk.
brother, my brother, my brother. When does she say thank you when you apologize? Does she like what does she
Oh yeah.
say?
Oh yeah. Like she just says, okay, like, all right,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, sorry.
And then she brings up the same situations later and says that you like manipulated and gaslighted. Did anything
Yeah.
happen? Did anything happen in that gap? Like, did you start dating other people or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, then that's just a her problem then, right? She could be someone who's like very anxious, fearful, avoidant, right? Like fearful avoidants who lean anxious, they tend to keep bringing up issues. They don't get over it, right? So,
Right.
but ultimately, it's not your problem. It's not something you should be focused on. Like, if you ended the relationship and you're moving on, you shouldn't even care about her coming at you, fussing you out. And if she is doing that, block her. Now, in your situation, you're a bit too passive. When you say that you just apologize, even if you weren't at fault, that's not something you're supposed to do. So, why are you doing that? Because you do that when you do stuff like that, it means that you aren't really solving, and that's probably why she continued to complain about it because you probably apologized, but then you didn't change any behavior, right? So she complained about something, you said my fault, and then you still didn't do anything about it. So now it's just a continuing issue, right? Because you're not apologizing because you're really sorry. You're apologizing to tell her to shut the fuck up. That's what your apology is. It's shut the fuck up, but it's being said like I'm sorry. Right? But you really have no intention of solving the problem. Which means you possibly have some avoidant attachment within you. So you have to work on that if you want any relationship in the future to actually plan out.
Right, because and it's not even that like because okay, I just feel like if I'm talking to you and there's a dispute, there's a disagreement, and like we say okay, we disagree. Like some people think that you're gonna right off the bat, like if after you curse out somebody, after say she cursed me out, you think like right away we're gonna go out for dinner that same night, like, and we're just gonna be like, and that's what I think she was expecting. Like you could have cursed me out, you could have talked to me anyhow, and I'm automatically after I apologize. Okay, let's go to the movies, huh? That's what she would expect.
No,
And she
I, I
literally told me
agree.
that.
I agree, but there's a couple of problems built into that. The first one is why are you even dealing with someone who's cursing you out?
That's true.
That's the first thing. Like I wouldn't deal with that. You got one time to curse me out, and it's over with, right? So why are you dealing with someone who's cursing you out? Two, why is she cursing you out? Is she cursing you out because you're still not trying to solve the problem when she brought it up the first time? All right, possibly, probably why she's cursing you out, right? So there's multiple things going on here. The core of the issue is you not trying to repair, but you appease, right? So you're like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to solve the problem, which will piss anybody off, right? So that's the core of the issue. A layer on top of that is why even be with someone who's disrespecting you? Assuming the things she was complaining about weren't really valid, why even be with somebody like that who's going to curse you out? How long did y'all date?
Like a year.
A year. And she was like that the whole time?
Not necessarily. It was a little bit confusing because even at one point, like if we spend time, like we're spending time, we interact, we see each other. Maybe like at some like say we spend time, like, we don't probably go out to a restaurant, but you come over to my place or whatever, vice versa, and we hang on and stuff like that. Maybe like a week later, she sent like a message saying, we don't do nothing, we don't go out, da 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 da, we don't spend no time with each other. And you're like, wait, wasn't that just with you last week? So I feel like she had like abandonment issues that was probably taken out on me.
For sure. For sure. And that she was basically very aggressively expressing a desire to see you more. Right. And then when it comes from that emotional place, sometimes it doesn't make logical sense because what she's doing is she's vocalizing an emotional feeling. And it may not reflect the actual reality of the situation. Because emotions sometimes don't reflect reality, right? So then you're looking at it from like a logical perspective, like, but that doesn't make sense. That's not true. Like what you're saying isn't true, but it's not about it's what she is symbolically complaining about, not what she's complaining about on the surface, right? And with dealing with women in general, you have to like kind of understand that a lot of their complaints is contextual, right? They're talking about what this symbolically represents. I'll give you an example. I've used this example before. Like a lot of guys are in situations. Y'all stay muted when you come up. A lot of guys have been in a situation where maybe their lady asked them to take the trash out. And they're like, okay, I'll take the trash out. And then they don't take the trash out. And then she gets really mad about them not taking the trash out. And then they're like, well, it's just the trash. It's not that big a deal. They're thinking she's complaining about the trash. What she's really complaining about is you didn't do what you say you were going to do. So if you're going to be the type of man who doesn't do what he says he's going to do, how can I trust you? Right? That's what she's really complaining about.
Right.
Us men don't perceive it that way because we don't look at the subtext of what is being said. But if you can get good at reading the subtext of what's being said, you can communicate more effectively. Right? That makes sense?
Right.
All right, brother. Well, best luck to you, man.
So do you talk to people off air?
Say it again?
Do you talk to people like off air? You have like appointments that you can book?
Yeah, you can book a call in my bio, and we can discuss coaching and stuff like that. So yeah, just click link in my bio. You can book a call. All right.
Sure. All right, I'll do that. Thank you.
All right, Josh. Take care, bro. CC.
I'm gonna turn my camera on today because I straightened my hair.
Looking good, CC. Looking good. There we go. What's happening?
I'm trying to lift myself up.
There you go.
I think you saw my post. And so I want to say thank you to you and then everybody in the chat and then the mods because I've been seeing the comments, especially even the last couple of days, like we have the best mods, all this and that, and I've appreciated the support.
Mm-hmm.
So recently a person that I know from TikTok passed away. They were in a very bad car accident.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I never met them, but over the time that I've been on TikTok, they were like in my lives, you just kind of interact with people. And this is a space where we interact and who knows if people might meet offline and all that kind of stuff. And I've always, I've met several people off of TikTok and connected with some people like, oh, you're in Cali? I'm like, okay, well, let's take our time, get to know each other. Even on the friendship level. So I've just really appreciated that and this space. So just want to, kind of put that out there that I've appreciated the comments, especially since I became a mod and I've been trying to be like very helpful and like trying to grow and everything. So I've appreciated this space. Whether the good or bad things, I gotta say, because sometimes people get on my nerves, but it's okay. But yeah, so again, with the commercial, let's tap it up, guys. Our goal is 115K every time this man goes live, and we want to hear these amazing stories, whether we agree or disagree. This is still a space where people still want to come and find answers, and he has been so patient. Might be the medication and just himself. I'm just playing. But I've appreciated it. So we want to make sure that we are tapping the screen. It helps TikTok know that this live is interactive and it will send more people here. It pushes it up in the algorithm as people are scrolling. So that's what we want to make sure that we are tapping that screen. We're showing our support. That daily heart needs up at the top, that orange heart. It has different things. Send a comment. It even tells you, like you've been here for however long. Like all of those things also helps with the interaction. So that way we get more and more people in here to either find the support, learn something, release something, whatever they need. Also that gray arrow, that's where you're going to repost or share with people. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. All of these things are ways to show support, and we come up here every day and we try to tell you guys to tap and do all these things. We appreciate when you do them. Also, when you come up, you want to have your question first and then your contacts. Don't worry about the comments. Coach will bring up a good comment or ask the questions. Make sure you want to pay attention to the host. You can turn the comments off. You can clear display if you don't want to pay attention until you're dropped, and then you can go back, which is what I do. Also, you can turn your camera on. We like to look at you. Sometimes not camera down. I learned that.
Camera down.
No camera down. But you want to make sure you wait until it's your turn. If you do it before, mods are gonna drop you. Okay, simple as that. What else, Coach? Again, thank you. Let's keep tapping. Power tap as much as you can, you guys. 115K. That is our goal. We try to do at least 60K first hour. That other, So let's go ahead. Let's tap it up. Thank you guys for your support.
Appreciate you, CC. All right. 888. What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I'm in this other dilemma. I'm calling from South Africa, and I've been in a very abusive relationship for the past year. And when I actually realized that I was in an abusive relationship, I heard like a story where somebody was like, okay, you should save up a bit of money, and then once you get a chance, get out of there. Then I did that, and now I sort of feel like I'm at a level where I can actually leave the relationship, but I do not have the confidence to do that. And even the way I walk, it feels like I lost myself. I just don't feel myself. I just can't even. As much as I would dress up, go out, do my hair, do my lashes, just look pretty, feel pretty, it doesn't last. And I just do not understand how can I get myself back. Because also, I'm saying a lot of things at the same time, but also I really do feel as if I'm scared to actually leave as well.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about that?
Okay. When did you make a decision to leave or find that you wanted to leave?
I haven't made a dated decision to leave, but it's just in my subconsciousness that I should probably just leave. But also I'm scared to leave. I'm scared to start. I'm scared of him retaliating. I'm also scared that I don't know what I'm gonna do out there.
Okay. So when did you I guess my question was, when did you start thinking about leaving? And then also, when did you start losing your confidence?
I started thinking about leaving almost 7 months ago. So
Okay.
I'm talking about last year, June or July.
Okay.
And then my self-confidence started going down the drain around September, because we actually also broke up at some point in end of September, and then he went out and then sort of got married on an island with another girl, and then now they do see each other now and then, but he tells me that there's nothing. He just wanted to do that to hurt me, which I know in the back of my head that there could still be something out there. They
Okay.
could still be waiting. They could still be doing something.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So your lack of confidence is in response to him going out there and dealing with another woman.
Yes, I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. So addressing the confidence thing, you have to start validating yourself internally and not validating yourself externally, right? So right now you're existing within a paradigm where the way you feel about yourself is contingent upon how other people see you. So the person that you're with, or your husband, or I don't know the dynamic, I think your husband, right? How you feel about yourself is based on how he treats you and the attention that he gives you, and him going out dealing with another woman made you feel very low, right? So you have to flip that and instead start validating yourself internally. So that means you have to start speaking life over yourself. You have to start bigging up yourself, right? Giving yourself compliments. And in doing so, you'll start validating yourself internally, and you won't really need external validation so much. Okay, so that's how you solve the confidence issue. Takes practice. It will take time, but if you keep up with it, you'll start doing it, right? Second thing is you're just afraid to leave, right? The only way to deal with fear is just to face it. That's just the hard truth. So the only way to handle fear is exposure therapy. In other words, you have to do the thing that you're afraid of doing. You're not gonna be able to psych yourself up or have a mentality switch, right? You have to kind of prove to yourself that the fears that you have aren't true. And the only way to do that is to actually do that which you fear.
Okay, so what about the retaliation? Because keep in mind that this person is very abusive. He is very confrontational, sometimes for no reason, to me and to other people as well. So, yeah,
You said what
I
about?
think that also gets with me to just think that, okay, if I do this, he might go and attack the other people that I might get involved in or things like that.
That becomes a legal matter at that time, love. Like you have to contact the authorities. That's not something that I can really help you with. If he's a threat to you or your loved ones or people who you may meet in the future, that's you have to call the police. There's nothing you can say to stop that from occurring, right? So you have to just take the necessary precautions.
Yeah, because I once thought of also getting the police involved at some point, but like I say, there's a lot of things that like keep me restricted from making certain actions because I do think that okay, if I go out and ask for maybe therapy outside or talk to the police, this is gonna become a case, and now and then I really need to talk about it, which I'm not really comfortable with, and also I don't want to like sentiment the whole situation in my head and dig it and
I hear
try
you.
to
I hear
just
you, but it's we're approaching venting territory. I understand the complexity, but my answer is the same, right? You're basically saying like it's uncomfortable to do what you're saying, and my answer to that is yes, you're right, but you got to do it anyway, right? You're looping on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're looping on it mentally, and that's not solving the problem. This is complicated emotionally, but practically it's very simple. If you want to leave, you have to leave. If you fear leaving because he's going to be a threat to you, then you get the authorities involved. It's literally all you can do. Okay? If you don't want to get the authorities involved, then stay. But it sounds like you don't want to stay. So you have to just decide what you're going to do, commit to that path, and then do everything necessary on that path to make sure that you have the outcome that you're looking for. Okay?
Okay, okay.
All
Okay,
right.
so I'm gonna try to do that, and once I'm done with that, I'm gonna come back on this live again and tell you a whole different story.
Sounds good, love. You take care, all right? Be safe.
Okay, you too, bye.
All right. All right. Couple love. What's going on?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay. Why do men like try at the last minute? Like, cause I recently was going through something with my significant other where we were going through a possible breakup, and it's like I stopped repeating myself and packed up and down to the last minute of me getting ready to take all of my stuff out of our house and go my separate ways is when he like broke down and wanted to beg for our relationship, but before he was acting like he really could care less what goes on all the way up until I leave or walk out.
Okay.
So it was regarding his baby mother and me being put in so many situations with her where I've had enough and I was tired of repeating myself and asking for him to set boundaries with her and him telling me well she's grieving and she's just hurt because of we didn't work out and she sees how I'm treating you, basically make an excuse for her behavior towards me. And it came down to me just getting tired of it one day, but then like I said, he acted like he didn't really care until I was packed up and about to move on with my life.
Mm-hmm. So then he started breaking down, crying, begging for you back.
Yeah, like it was like I don't know if it was like a manipulating move or what. And I don't know why, because I was done, and right now, I know I'm not going to. If I leave, when I'm done with him completely, and I still do take that step to leave, I want to make sure I don't do the backtracking, because I've done that before. I want to make sure. And I don't know if it's love or I don't know what it is.
Okay.
That
And
keeps
what?
me going
How
in
was?
this relationship.
How was the his ex? You said his mother of his child. Was that?
Yeah.
Okay. How was she a problem again?
Um, Manipulating wise, she would contact my family when we first got together because I'm the first female that he's dealt with in a while that he's posted on that he's been serious about, you know. So she's became very bitter, and he stopped going back and messing with her on the side when he dealt with other women. You know, it kind of changed up on her with him, you know, going back and seeing her and messing with her on other levels.
Okay. So she was messaging your family?
Yes.
Saying what?
Just messaging my family, just talking about me and my relationship with my man. And
Okay.
she just contacted my whole entire family, and then she stalked me for a little while. Like she showed up to my parents' house, but she didn't realize that I don't live with them, and I had my own house. She didn't know my address, so I'm assuming she like found my parents' information, and she showed up there, took pictures outside their house. It's like tell her to come outside, stuff like that.
Okay. And then how?
Stuff like that.
And then how did this create a strain on your relationship? Like what caused you to be mad at him?
It created a strain on my relationship because it feels like he's trying to take on this role. I'm not going to down him about being an active father. I don't know if he can't handle it because her mother has mental issues. So she's bipolar. She has bipolar disorder. She's like very crazy. She has a record and she's very abusive. Like I've heard all these things about her, and he told me like to be aware of the whole situation. In the beginning, I didn't really take it as serious.
Okay.
I didn't think it was
Okay.
as
Just
serious.
in one sentence, tell me how this impacted your relationship negatively. Why you were upset with him?
Because I don't feel like he sets any boundaries
Okay.
with her.
Okay.
He doesn't stick to them.
Got you. What boundaries did you want him to set?
With the whole co-parenting thing, he like when they're in communication, it's not just about his daughter, you know. She'll sit there on the phone crying and saying, "Well, though you said you wanted a family with me, I can't believe you moved on." And I'm like, if it's not about your daughter, then you guys should not be on the phone.
Okay. And then how did he respond to you requesting him to set those boundaries?
He's like, well, I want to explain it to her. I'm always going to explain it to her until she understands. And I'm like, well, she's not understanding. And
Okay.
so why are you repeating yourself? What's keeping you from just ending that conversation?
Okay. Okay. I understand. That is a problem. All right. What he was doing was not manipulation. More than likely, he probably has some degree of avoidance to where he's suppressing his emotions. If there was manipulation, he would have been manipulated you, right? You would have seen other attempts at manipulation. Because people who manipulate. Just like people who lie. It's a character flaw. So if he was manipulative, you would see more evidence of that. Not in just this one moment, right? So he probably was suppressing his feelings for you, or his feelings about the situation, probably trying to be strong, or he has an underdeveloped ability to anticipate how he will feel in a situation. I've experienced something similar. That's how I know this. And then seeing you leave, he could not suppress those emotions anymore.
Okay.
So that gives credence to why crime, right? Which was your original question. In addition to that, like, have you gone back or have you know?
Oh, I didn't end up leaving. Like, I told him, okay, well, these are new boundaries that I'm setting. You need to follow these, or if you're not going to at least try, then I'm still going to go. So
Okay.
I try to set boundaries. Then in that moment, to maybe he'll take heed to that, but it's like there's more and more issues coming about with her, and that's what our relationship has been surrounded. Most of our arguments and our disagreements have been surrounded around her.
Understood. So how long ago did this conversation happen?
This happened maybe before this. This happened, I think, after our anniversary, so around end of August. And since then, there has been a lot of things that I have seen and noticed in his behavior with his baby mama. Nothing's changed, is what I'm basically saying.
Which is what I was trying to get to. Okay, so if nothing has changed, then you have to assume nothing will change.
Okay.
So if that caused you to leave originally and you set the boundary and he agreed to it and nothing still has changed, then you have your answer. He's not going to change in the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Edward said, she's trying to sabotage your relationship 100%. And it's unfortunate because when there's a child involved, like I can appreciate his situation as well. Like you're justified in your state of things, right? So completely, you're valid. I also can appreciate the complexity on his end because it's like, well, this is the mother of my child. And it's like, you try to appease the mother of your child because you don't want her to try to weaponize the child, right? Yes. So you try to fight that balance between boundary and let me not really piss you off and then have you react, right?
Yeah.
So that's a difficult situation. But just because he's in that difficult situation doesn't mean you have to deal with it. If that's not what you signed up for, right? So if you want to leave, if that makes you uncomfortable, yeah, leave. If that's not something you want to be a part of and he's already proven to you that he's not going to adhere to the boundaries that you set, then yeah, leave.
That's my problem. I feel like I have a problem setting boundaries and sticking to them.
Yeah, then you don't have...
I think he knows that. He feeds on that. And, like, that's another reason why...
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. But, like, a boundary without a willingness to leave is just a bluff. So, like, if you can't leave, you don't really have a boundary.
Understood.
So, you have to leave, right? Like, if you really can't tolerate it. Because he's not going to change. He's proven that.
And then he says, like, when I even say that and we have those tough conversations, he's like, well, you know my situation and I'm trying. You know that I didn't deal with women before you and this is me trying and it's all new to me and... It's not that hard if you really want it to be that way. But
no, it is complicated. It's complicated on his end as well. That's why he broke down crying. That was an expression of real emotion, right?
Yeah.
And what also tells me he cares, if you tell me that he was messing with the mother of his child with other women that he dated, but with you, he's not doing that, okay, well then you're significant, right? So it's not like, this is not if he wanted to, he would situation. This is someone who was lacking the tools to navigate the specific situation that he is in.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to establish the boundaries without the blowback of establishing said boundaries because, by your own admission, the mother of his child is crazy.
Yes.
So what would a crazy person do when you piss them off enough? You haven't even done anything to her. She already showing up at your parents' house.
Uh-huh.
She don't even know you. She's acting like that towards you. So imagine how she's going to act towards the person she shares a child with. Where she take it? And when you say set boundaries with her, what he hears is piss her off.
Okay.
Right? It's complicated. But again, you don't have to deal with that. Right? You don't have to. You 100. I wouldn't deal with it. I'll be like, that's too much for me. I can appreciate this is an impossible situation. But I ain't signed up for that shit. Deuces. Right? Totally fair. Right? But that's what the situation is.
Okay. I have more questions, but I'm not going to. We'll probably have to make an appointment or something. There's a long list of stuff.
Yeah, just come back, love. Just come back.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, dear. You take care.
Okay.
If you close the door completely, this wouldn't be an issue. I agree. There was definitely mistakes on his end as well. Yeah, Studio K, what's going on?
Amazing. Thank you so much. So I had a question. My question in regards to, so quick context. My last relationship lasted for 5 years and now I'm back into the dating market. I took a break of 6 months to really sit down with my own thoughts and what I really want to have in the future. Mm-hmm. My question lies between right now, I'm dating multiple people and I'm having difficulty to identify how I can intuitively not pick, but make a choice based on my standards without over functioning. One of the patterns that I was able to identify from my past relationship is I have tendencies. I don't like to put labels about the different attachment styles because it really depends to the person you are currently interacting with. So, but I would say that I'm leaning to fearful avoidant. So currently it's like I'm craving intimacy, but when it comes close, it's like there's mechanism that are unconsciously that I'm doing in my actions that can show otherwise. So I'm trying to be more open about that. But yeah, I feel like there's this gray area where when I'm dating people, I feel like, is it even worth it that I need to like putting the time and the work? And yeah, I don't know if my question is clear, but
Not at all. Can you rephrase the question?
so my question was, how can when dating a man, how can you dissociate trying to find intuitively based on your standards that you currently have from over functioning and trying to read into every situations? That's currently what I'm doing.
Okay. Ask your question more simply, because the way that you asked it tells me that it's hazy in your mind because you're being very verbose with the question itself. Very simply ask the question.
Yeah, that's another thing is the way I think is very different. So simply will be hard for me. Let me think about a situation. So, for example, with my ex, at the end of our relationship, what I think didn't work out was the tendency to have to over justify myself or over explain myself on certain things, which I thought like I can assume, but they were clear. We discussed a lot. And sometimes I feel like even though you can have intensity and chemistry, the compatibility was not a factor. So currently, yeah, during the 6 months, I really sat down to mapping the aspects that I felt were really important to me. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting lost with all of those questions instead of guiding me to knowing that this is my guidelines or those are my boundaries. I feel like I'm over functioning.
Okay. What is the so are you having a hard time making a decision on who to choose?
Yeah, kind of. Or leaving, letting the person in, kind of, as well.
Okay. So your problem is twofold. You keep people at a distance. You don't let them assess your inner world, and you don't know who to pick.
Mm, yeah, I'm being over selective on the person that I want to let in, even though I'm trying to do it.
Okay. Did your last relationship end badly?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if something is not for me, I would be like affected emotionally for, let's say, 3 months. But once I processed it, now it's fine. It didn't end like on bad terms.
Okay. When you say over functioning, what does that mean?
So I pay attention and I'm not doing that intentionally, but to details overly. And it's not like in conversation or in texts, it's more in the nonverbal or the patterns.
Okay. So you're hyper vigilant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that's why you said you lean towards more fearful avoidance?
Yeah, kind of, because I can sense a shift in energies, and sometimes I do not attribute it to me personally, but I am not inclined to ask questions if somebody is shifting in their energy or the investments they're putting. So I feel like I will withdraw the energy just to see how it's going to be reflected. And then, Yeah.
Yeah.
I would self-sabotage. I feel like that's my understanding of what it is to be a fearful avoidant.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you're basically desiring intimacy, but then also scared when it shows up, which puts you in a situation where you absolutely will self sabotage, right? So really, one of the main ways to deal with fearful avoidance is some sort of trauma based therapy or EMDR, stuff like that. So I would recommend looking into that, right? To try to heal this issue if you truly are fearful avoidant. Outside of that, right, you have to lean into like uncomfortable situations. So like an avoidant person doesn't like being vulnerable. Okay, I get that you don't like it, but you got to do it, right? So do it. Like do it, make yourself uncomfortable and do it. And maybe not the maybe don't like jump into the pool, but dip a toe in. Maybe a little bit vulnerable, right? And then you'll see, oh, your nervous system will learn like, oh, being vulnerable did nothing bad happen. So you'd be a little bit more vulnerable, and then nothing bad happens again. And then over time, you retrain your nervous system to not associate that vulnerability with like like this visceral like fear or disgust, right? So a lot of the attachment style stuff is just doing what is uncomfortable. The problem is people are like, the question behind their question is, how can I remove the discomfort?
Correct.
Right? So it's like, okay, I know the right thing to do, but it makes me uncomfortable. So how do I get rid of the feeling that's stopping me from doing it? Answer, you can't. You can't. You have to do it. You have to act as if you are secure. That's how you become more secure. You act as if you are. Then over time, you retrain yourself into actually becoming that way.
Okay. It's very interesting. But acting as if to be secure when you've never been secure is like having an idea of an illusion of something that is secure, but you're not really sure about what it is to be secure.
Yeah, that's normally like if you don't know what it means to be secure, then that means that's more of an awareness problem, which a lot of people have. People haven't really seen like healthy relationships. You can just educate yourself on that. Watch a couple of YouTube videos, right? But I think to also at a certain level, you know what to do. Like when you probably should be vulnerable. You know when to tell the truth, right? You know when you should commit. Like these things. You just don't do it because it's uncomfortable to do so. So you're avoiding the feeling, not avoiding the person. You're avoiding how the person makes you feel, and you run from the feeling. But you have to embrace the feeling. You have to detach your behavior from your feelings, and instead attach your behavior to the identity that you want to demonstrate, which from an attachment perspective is secure. Right?
Easier said than done, but yeah, I see the idea.
Yeah, most things in life are easier said than done, right? But it's like that's just what has to happen.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Eva, you want to come up? I think Eva wants to share a perspective real quick. Yeah, Eva, go ahead and request. I'll bring you up if you have something to add.
Oh.
She's also fearful avoidant, so she may add another perspective to this.
Okay.
What's up, Eva? You're muted.
Wait, am I good now?
You're muffled.
I should be good now?
Mm-hmm.
It's better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I wanted to say to studio, hi everybody. I get you, the not knowing what to even do because you've never done it before. Start small and just be vulnerable with yourself. Not people, but with yourself. So like journaling has been really helpful to me to just kind of get comfortable with those uncomfortable feelings. And once you're able to do that and feel safety in that, start doing it to like the people that you trust. So it could be like your siblings, your parents, whoever you feel like they can hold you, you know what I mean? Without you feeling ashamed of the vulnerability. Because there's this aspect of like, I don't want somebody to see me weak. I don't want to let go of my independence, right? So what I was doing is I did that with my brother, who is like 18 years younger than me. So when I finished journaling with myself, I started showing my vulnerability with him. Because I'm the type of person, even saying I love you to somebody was difficult. I would say 143 to like my boyfriend instead of I love you, because I'm like, why would I tell you that? You know? So I started with my little brother, and then I went in with my parents, my sister, who's closer in age with me. And now I'm at the place where it's truly uncomfortable, right? Being vulnerable with my friends and with like a romantic partner. But I know that I have the capability, because if I can do it with myself, with my family, my close ones, then I can do it with a stranger too. I can come on this live and share this, right? So that's like me being vulnerable of my flaws. But start with you first and build the capacity of your mind, knowing that you can be vulnerable. You can have those behaviors. Because I can relate to I can't even conceptualize the fact that I have to be vulnerable with somebody. Like, my brain couldn't connect the dots. So you have to do that first before you can mimic, you know what I mean? Like what you see in other people's relationship. It starts with you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing the insight. And I feel like, starting with loved ones will probably be easier. And then I would know that the feeling is okay. And not putting too much pressure. I don't feel like I put pressure or I have difficulty with vulnerability, but I have a hard time to say that I will be vulnerable with you. It comes with, I need to see certain types of actions, and those actions are not nonverbal or not action that I will ask. I'm more so looking for intuitive qualities or innate qualities that we have as people. And if I pinpoint those qualities, that's where I have my cues that, okay, I can be somewhat safe. But I totally agree with what you said, and thank you for that.
All right, studio. Best of luck, love.
Yeah, thank you to you both. Bye.
Appreciate you, Eva.
Too.
All right, Eva.
Tap,
Appreciate
tap, tap, guys.
Great advice from Eva. We brought Eva up a couple of times. She always drops some truth bombs on them. Mr. Barnes, what's going on?
Hey, man. Thanks for taking my call. I guess my question is, I just got out of a relationship, and I know that I should probably not jump right into another one, but I want to. What are your thoughts on that? You know, I broke up, and I'm right back on track.
How long was your relationship?
Well, the truth is, I was in like this 2.5-year relationship, and we were talking big talk, future planning, all this stuff. Come to find out, got a hold of them texts, just total degenerate liar, betrayer. And then I quickly jumped into like a 4-month relationship. I mean, I know it looks like a rebound, I guess, but I wanted it to work, but ultimately that didn't work. And when we broke up, I'm still upset about the 2.5-year, I guess, is what's really still on my mind. Just the betrayal.
Yeah.
So, my last one was 4 months, but before that, the one that bothers me the most is that 2.5-year. It's still on my mind constantly. And getting into a relationship quickly it just distracted me, I guess.
Exactly.
I guess I know I should go on detox, but I just don't want to, or I just like to hear your thoughts, that's all.
You got pretty much already figured it out. Like, you're distracting yourself from the uncomfortable feelings by trying to cover them up with more positive feelings with a new connection. But that new connection can't work because you haven't fully processed and integrated the lesson from the previous situation, right? Like, you have to unpack and process and learn the lessons from your previous relationship before you can fully connect with another person. You don't have that big of an emotional bandwidth. It's still clogged with the past connection, so you can't be present with the new connection. and that's going to be felt on the end of the woman, right? So you're pretty much guaranteeing that any new situation you enter into will fail, which then gives you something else to grieve. And now you just have these complex emotions.
Honestly, it failed just because we had different boundaries, I guess. I mean, it was great, honestly. The 4 months.
It was 4 months, brother. That's still honeymoon.
No, but it was where it came up to these boundaries, and I was like, oh, there's a difference between sacrifice and compromise, and neither one of us wanted to sacrifice. So it was very pleasant, but we broke up. But I don't think. I think that's what broke it up. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, do you think? I guess there's no specific magic amount of time, is there? It's just case by case basis, right?
It's case by case basis, but yeah, you have to take time for yourself. You gotta take time for yourself. You gotta grieve the situation. You have to. You'll know that you're better off when you're not so emotionally charged about it. Because even when you brought it up, you were emotionally charged when you brought it up. So you're definitely not over it, not even close. So it's like you got to kind of process that, work through the emotional experience, right? Process the emotions, and then get back out there. Right now, you're guaranteeing failure because you want to, and this is how you guarantee failure. One, you try to find somebody quickly, so you're not even being thoughtful about the person that you're connecting with. As soon as you find someone who's good enough, you commit to them. And now you end up in a 4-month relationship that ends. Why did it only last 4 months? Because it wasn't a thoughtful decision. Right?
I can see that.
And then even if it did last longer, you're still so emotionally impacted by your ex, you're now probably going to assume the new person is doing the same thing, and now you don't trust them, and you're projecting your past situation onto them because of the insecurity, and now they're off put by the insecurity. Now they want to leave. Like, you're just going to sabotage every connection unconsciously. So you got to process this first, or else you're going to be stuck in a loop.
I feel like it's a weakness that I just don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Like, in the past I've been alone, but now that I'm older, it's
you're probably thinking about like mortality. And you want partnership in this phase of life, right? Normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you improve the odds of not being alone once you process this relationship. Because then you can come from like a more healed place and be more attractive also. And make wiser decisions with who you're going to deal with, which increases the likelihood that you are with them for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
You're just in a bad system right now that's not going to give you what you want. You're basically making a long-term sacrifice for short-term gain. You got to flip that. You got to make a short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
Yeah, it's all pretty basic and right in front of me. It's just doing it is the hard part.
Yeah.
Even when the answer is there, it's selecting it. Well, anyways, I do appreciate it.
How long was your past relationship, brother?
I really like the advice you're giving to that other lady. If you don't mind, I could just sing your praises here. That if you have a boundary and you won't leave, then it's not really a boundary, and it's tough. So there it is. But shout out to you. I can't really read your name, but great channel, great show. Thanks.
Appreciate you, bro. You take care, man. All right. Live in Pain. What's going on?
How's it going, my man? I love seeing your videos. It's so cool to be up here.
Appreciate you, bro.
So I'm currently in a... Let me put my headphone in.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm currently in a doozy. I'm not even gonna lie. I am coming out of, or technically, I'm still in a 5 going on 6-year relationship. And we have been clashing. I believe the main thing that's going on right now is because I deduced it that she's an avoidant, that she can't commit to me because she's not committing to herself. She probably is potentially afraid of failing me and what I'm able to put forward and what I was giving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And my timer went off. I have a conversation with her next week, and I personally feel like I still want to be with her, but I feel like as of right now, during this break, I feel that she needs to invest time into her to find what she needs for herself right now. And I'm also in a place where in this separation or this break, I've found so much clarity within myself, and I've been improving immensely. Like this first year, like my 2026 plan has been beautiful. I've been knocking it out the park. And I realized, I wasn't as anxious as I thought. I'm more secure. It's because, I was getting stonewalled. I kept, bidding for attention. And I don't know. I just I really would love to be with her, but I don't know. I'm trying to find a sentence to say, I want to be with you, but you need to invest in yourself. You need to take time, pour into yourself. She also lives with her parents. She's also Muslim. So it's she's I'm afraid of failing my parents. What if because she has dependents, her parents depend on her. So it's what if I end up chasing my dream and then I don't end up succeeding and everything fails? I'm you're catastrophizing, And plus, once again, she's older. She's turning 28. I'm you're only going to live for so long. So you're going to have to make a decision some point. So I don't know what to say to her. I want to be with her, but I want her to invest in herself. And because I'm doing my shit, I ain't gonna lie, I'm loving it right now. But I just want her to invest into her, and I don't know how to say I want to be with you, but go do your thing. I'm here for you. I'm not gonna leave. Just stop being so fearful. Stop trying to fucking run me off. So I don't know.
Oh, so you still are technically with her?
I believe so. We're technically still together. We're still on a break. Cause I'm in a place where it's I'm in a place where it's I'm kind of good with or without her, because that's the only way I can be, to be in a place of comfort. But I truly want to build this relationship deeper. But it's that fear that you hold is so deep rooted within her family and her. It's I know I can't do that. That's a you thing.
Yeah.
You literally have to believe that you're worthy. And I know sometimes it might come off as harsh or mean, or my tone might be X, Y, and Z. But it's really just always coming out of love. But I don't know how to, because I'm actually getting this book called Safe, and how to talk to the nervous system, because he kept saying she doesn't feel safe with me. And I was I don't know what that means. I will do the research, I'll put it into work, but I literally don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm perfect. So it's okay, I'm pointing one finger, there's three pointing back at me. Let me look at everything that I faltered on. Let me figure out everything that I failed in. Let me look at myself
brother. Been there, done that.
Talk to me.
Been there, done that. It's not worth it. You're coming from a premise that if you just change your behavior, then you can kind of more control her, right? You're trying to you're doing it from a loving place, but you're trying to control her.
Talk to me.
Right? So it's you'll be okay, if I just learn this methodology, then I'll be able to more effectively control this person and have them be what I want them to be, right? Your expectations within a relationship exceeds her capacity. The system doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Do you believe that's control?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not in a weird way. You're trying to control the situation. Put it that way. She's just a part of the situation, right? You want your relationship to be a certain way, and she's preventing it from being that way. So you're how do I change it on my end, right?
Isn't that all we have is our personal self-control? That's what I always assumed. If you can change, if you can help it with yourself, look at yourself, look at your identity, and then once again give the person enough space to make a choice, because at the end of the day, it's that person needs to make that choice.
What I'm trying to tell you, though, the reason why I'm using the control is trying to convey to you that this is outside of your control. It's not a controllable variable. There's nothing you can do to increase her capacity.
Correct.
And even giving her space does nothing to solve that problem. Because if she is avoidantly attached and she's stonewalling you and she's not able to meet you emotionally in the way that you want to be met, that is a capacity issue on her end. Giving her space does not increase her capacity. Doesn't solve the problem. The only thing that will increase her capacity is her making a intentional effort to do so.
Yes.
And avoidant people typically never make that decision.
Okay.
So then they end up getting into relationships where less is required of them. and they have the capacity for that. You're someone who wants to emotionally connect. You're probably good at emotional attunement, right? Probably a great person to be with, it sounds like. But
ain't perfect.
no, but still, like, you probably sound like a great person to be with. We're all human, right? We all have problems. But you seem like you are willing to do things on your end to improve the entire relationship. If somebody brought something to your attention where you're dropping the ball, you probably make a concerted effort to change it, right or wrong.
Yes.
Right. So you're a good person to be with. That's really the most you can ask out of a person. If you're like that as a person, you're a great person to be with. Because most people aren't like that. They don't want to admit they have a problem. They rather like externalize their issues, right? Or play victim. So yes, this is fundamentally a capacity issue, and you can't do anything about this. You can't influence her to increase her capacity. You can't control her or find new lingo to speak in her direction to improve her capacity. This is fundamentally she does not have the capacity to be how you would need her to be for you to be happy in the relationship.
Okay, because that's what I'm looking at. I got an analogy from like the gym. Like some people say they would like to go to the gym, but they don't do it. And then within that, it's like, it's not the fact that they don't urge for a good body, is that they don't have the mental fortitude to actually do it, and what that means to be consistent within the gym, how it's going to hurt, how you're going to have to change your diet, and X, Y, and Z. And that's what like I'm kind of looking at right now. And because this is the second time I heard this capacity thing, and I wasn't aware of a lot of the attachment styles. I wasn't aware of a lot of this, a lot of these things. So I was just like very confused why. Because this is one thing that always bothered me. She's never willing to watch a video that I can send her. Like if I send her a video and hey, this is attachment styles, it was like she never wanted to watch that video. And I'm like, why don't you watch that?
She likely has shame around it.
Exactly.
So you being like, watch this triggers that shame. She probably knows that she's not showing up in the way that you need her to. Yes. And she feels shitty about it. So you're like, watch this video to remind you of the thing you feel shitty about. And she's like, me watching this video will just make me feel shitty. Why would I want to feel shitty? So she'd rather avoid it. That's what I mean. But that's again, you trying to control it, right? You're trying to influence her to change. I can witness that because I was the same way. I did the exact same thing. I was like, you are moving in a more avoidant way. If I just inform you of what this is and the ways to improve, you will improve. Made sense on paper, not in practice.
So that makes a lot of sense. I think I'm getting some really good data because that's really been the biggest issue is like every time I'll find something, because it could be financial, it can be emotional, it can be even building the business because she's a creator. So it's like I'm here to improve. Like each and every day I want to be a person who can be a little bit better. And all I've been doing my whole life is finding information, because it's called being an autodidactic. You find information and then you apply it to yourself and you learn. So that's all I've been doing my whole life, because I never had anyone to give me the opportunity or give me these things. So I always had to go out and seek it. So I knew that, I know a thing that I kind of messed up. I was trying to turn her pain into productivity. And I realized that was not a way to approach these things, because once again, everybody has their own wealth. Everybody has their own cross to bear. And I was just like, okay, cool. Let me figure out these ways where I can understand. But as you said, I don't think I can intellectualize my way into her finding her own capacity.
Is this your first relationship?
No.
Okay. How many relationships have you been in?
I've been in one other one, a long term.
Did you show up similarly in that other long-term relationship?
I was younger. I grew into the man. I was more present, but yeah, I was more trying to once again I was always trying to improve something, you know. In that relationship, she just didn't want to support the brand. She just didn't want to wear a t-shirt of mine. She didn't want to support my comedy. Like anything that I did that wasn't on her vibe of like academia, she was just like no type of interest. But like if I'd say I'm going to college, oh my God, hey, I'm working with Gucci. We don't care. We don't care. College. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, do you care about me?
Gotcha. Okay. But she was like a high agency individual?
I believe my previous partner, she got her stuff done.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, you're in a good place, man. You're in a good place. Just Try to make sure the next person is kind of like on your level in a sense of like capacity and agency, and you'll be fine.
So do you believe I should just call this quits, the conversation that's coming up? Because that's what, like, I don't...
Yeah.
I want to just give it space, because I'm like,
It doesn't solve the space doesn't solve the problem. The space doesn't solve the problem. So it's like you're not. What makes me good at this is I think in systems. So a relationship is nothing more than a system. Our psychology is nothing more than a system. So I hear what goal somebody has. I look at the system. I see where the breakdown point is, and I look at the proposed solution. Most people are really bad at identifying the problem, and then they're even worse at prescribing solutions. The problem with her is capacity. Capacity is not solved by space. Therefore, you giving her space will just put you in the same situation once the space has ended. So this is fundamentally incompatibility. Your two paths are either accept her how she is and not expect that much from her and then live in like a unhappy relationship, or leave and find somebody else who is more compatible with you.
Okay. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, and this is what I've been feeling, and I'm accepting it, and I'm in a really positive place right now because I'm just like, I'm flourishing in what I'm doing consistently, and I'm not even gonna lie, like every achievement that I got, I just kept improving and winning, and it's like, I just never felt that she was able to just like sit there for any of my wins, and it just kept breaking me down. I'm like, oh man, you can't, I'm with this celebrity, you can't watch a free show with me, I got this collab with this brand, you're not even trying to hype me up, like, and I'm surprised because I come from a place where you're supposed to be dead at 18 for real. Your mother's doing this, your father not there, your sister doing that, your brother, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, to grow out of that, I just never really felt seen as a person. So
I hear you. Well, let me tell you, you may not hear it a lot, bro. I'm proud of you, man. All right. Listen, it sound like you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot, bro. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be celebrated. So that's great stuff. Keep going, and you're going to find the woman who's going to celebrate you more than you celebrate yourself. All right.
Okay, I appreciate it, my man. I always wanted to get on live with you. Thank you for providing such good value, and I hope everybody on this live, once again, has an amazing day. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Who we got? Rama?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hello, everyone. So, I'm currently struggling or having a hard time to move on or accept the end of our relationship with me and my current ex. We've been dating for almost 2 years, and everything seemed fine. It was fine. He treated me nice. He like checked all the boxes. I was happy. I felt safe, secured. He was always reassuring and all that. And I felt like I had all that, like it meant something to him because he's always like, oh my God, I've never met someone like you. I'm happy being with you, whatever. So recently he moved to a different country to study. It's about 4 or 5 months. And he initiated a conversation about us not being able to work out in the future because of having different religions. And we had this conversation before, but we were like, he was very reassuring, saying that, oh my God, we'll make it work. I love you. Like, yeah, and I had no problem being with him despite our differences. And recently, as he moved to a different country, last year, December, on New Year's Eve, he was like, hey, I think we need to talk about this. I don't think we're going to work in the future, so I think maybe we should break up because of difference in religion. I was trying to avoid this. I thought we could work out, but I think it can't. And I'm just like confused because I mean, I get it, but he said that he thinks maybe in the future it's going to be hard. At first, he thought it was going to work, but now he doubts that it's going to. And I'm just confused. Should I accept it? Because I feel like something tells me that it might work, but I'm not sure if I'm right, and I'm not sure if he's right. He thinks that he made the right decision for the both of us. And I just don't know if I should move on or, like, I don't know.
I hear you, but you don't really have a choice, right? Like, because
Yeah.
for a relationship to work, both people have to agree and want the relationship to work, and he's breaking up with you. So it's like you don't have the choice of staying in a relationship. So your only choice is to move on. It's your only option.
I think, yeah, I guess so. Well, I just thought, I don't know, but I don't think it's a good idea to convince someone just because everything seemed right and he loved you. But yeah, I just thought maybe I have this hope that maybe there is a way that it could work, but I guess not.
No. I get it. It's a hurtful situation, but like you got to accept the ending of things, right? So that you can move on. Right now, you're in a place where it's like you're not grounded in reality, in the reality of the situation, which is like he fundamentally doesn't want the relationship anymore, which he's flat out told you. So it's like in that situation, like as good as things seemed, you're talking about how good things seemed in the present. He's projecting to the future and seeing breakdown points and being like, oh, this is not solvable. So we just need to cut it. That is the mismatch. You're talking about this feels good right now. He's talking about this doesn't work for the future.
Yeah. Okay, I guess, yeah, you're right. Okay, that's all.
All right,
Thank
love.
you.
Best of luck to you. Take care. All right, who we got? Charisma Works. What's going on?
Hi there. Hi from Greece, by the way.
Hello.
Thank you for your insight because you have helped me through the other examples and top shelf people. Honestly, great stories. My issue is, and it's the first time I'm on a live asking for advice, but I am a very high achiever woman, a career woman, ambitious. See, I know how to be feminine and give space to a man to make me feel and make him feel to that he can lead and be desired and appreciated. However, in Greece, I'm not aware if you have been here, if you have seen dynamics between men and women. Men are very emasculated. They're mama's boys, if I may say. So when they see a woman like myself with standards, values, and boundaries, harsh boundaries, they think I am overpowering or dominating. And honestly, I am even considering staying single forever because of the situation here. I've lived in the States as well for 4 years. So I have seen both worlds. And I noticed the same common pattern that when you know your values and your boundaries, it's very difficult to find the ideal man.
Yes.
And I want your opinion and your take on that.
Yes. It's harder for both parties. It's not just a woman thing, it's also a man thing. You start to have more boundaries as you age, as you get older, because you learn yourself more, you've made more mistakes, you've seen how things don't work. So it gets harder to get into a relationship, not because your value has diminished, but more so because you're making a more thoughtful decision. Most people who are getting in relationships are getting in relationships just off of vibes, right? But when you are making a more thoughtful decision, you finally see how few options you actually have, right? And that's what you're experiencing in part. Just like from a macro level perspective, you're not in a unique situation. You're in a situation where once you start to learn more about yourself and having more clarity about what you want and what you won't tolerate, you drastically decrease the options. But you didn't really decrease the options. You just revealed all of the people who were never options to begin with. You now see past the mirage. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So what boundaries do you have? You said you have harsh boundaries. So the use of harsh is interesting. What boundaries do you have?
I would share my recent experience, and I actually ended it yesterday. I was dating somebody for 2 weeks. I met him on Bumble, a dating app.
Okay.
And I gave it a shot. I said to myself, you know what? Just get out of your comfort zone, meet somebody, not from conferences and from my work.
Okay.
So we went on dates. We had fun. We went on weekend trips. He was a leader. He was handsome. He had all this package, you know. However, he did not have self-agency. He would easily be maybe manipulated by his friends and their opinions. He didn't have strong ethos and ethics when it comes to boundaries for female friends. And he was receiving also messages from his male friends on Instagram accounts of hot women and stuff like that. So for me, I shared my boundaries and I said I cannot deal with these things. I know my value, I know what I can deal with and what I cannot deal with. So I broke up with him very fast. I know it was not a relationship, but still I said I cannot continue. He was heartbroken, honestly. He was crying. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But I had to block him from everywhere today
So
so I can protect my peace.
So in that situation, did you when you found out that was occurring, did you express your boundaries then, and then he did the same thing over again, or how did that play out?
Thanks for this question. I actually said it from the first date about what I'm looking for, and I didn't say about a relationship. I actually wanted to show that I am looking for something that will be my match for me and my values. I mentioned that I am not an open-minded woman when it comes to following tons of women on social media, pornography. I like self-restraint, and I like a man who has how can I say it, constraint in regards to these kind of things, that they shouldn't be within a relationship with two people. And he was like, yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't need these things. I'm a man who wants to focus on a woman. So I would share these boundaries, but he would lie when I would catch him in a lie. He would lie to my face. And I said, lying is non-negotiable for me.
Okay. I got you. What I was trying to discern there was whether or not you were, a lot of times people will come from a place where they are too forgiving and then they get burned a lot in that situation. So then they overcorrect to cutting people off immediately. So I wanted to make sure you were not overcorrecting and cutting people off on the first offense. But as you expounded and you said that he was lying about the situation, yeah, that is a lack of integrity. So you're just optimizing for a very integrous, attractive, desirable, high character signal man going to be difficult. So you have to like just acknowledge that and lean into patience, right? This is the second order effect of doing self-work. You think, in this therapeutic culture that we're in, you're kind of told this idea that if you want to attract better people, you have to work on yourself, right? So you work on yourself if you want a good partner, right? But
I built a whole business on emotional intelligence and
right?
communication, Grace.
But
like, I'm working on that every day.
Exactly. But that's a half truth, because what they don't tell you is not many people do that.
No, exactly.
So then you become mismatched to the vast majority of the population. It's a lot easier to find a relationship if you're undeveloped, because most other people are undeveloped. So y'all just naturally just attract each other, right?
May I ask you something personal, if that's okay with you?
Absolutely.
Do you have a relationship?
I've been single for 3 years.
Has it been difficult for you?
It's been difficult meeting people on that level, sure. But it's not just meeting people on that level. It's also people who, even the ones I have met on that level, a lot of people, at least in America, I don't know how it is in Greece, but in America, a lot of people, single people, are playing defensively because they just have had so many bad experiences in the dating market. So they're not easy to trust. They have high walls up. And if they get into a situation where it seems possible that a relationship will come from this, a lot of people run because they fear being hurt. So it's like a lot of women are in a situation where they want a relationship. You get the distinction? They want to desire a relationship. They want to fantasize about a relationship. But if it's in their face, it's too much, and then they run from it.
That's a very interesting perspective
in
comparison to Greece.
It's difficult, right? So it's like it's the combination of, one, you're already optimizing for a rare person, and then two, you have to also solve for the dating culture, right? Which is everybody's playing defensively. I'm sure men are as well. So it can get very tricky. for both men and women. Both men and women in America are suffering because of these issues. And yeah, there's no way to optimize it. Like, you can optimize for sex. You can optimize for physical intimacy. So like if you are a man and like you're trying to just sleep with a bunch of women, you can optimize for that relatively easily. You cannot optimize for connection. Not really, right? You can do it to a degree. Yeah, you can do it to a degree, but ultimately you can't control the timing of things. Like, you just have to position yourself and then let things play out. Right? So yeah, it's difficult, but you know, we still are cautiously optimistic.
Thank you for your insight, and you give me a little bit of power because I know, I mean, like wisdom. I wanted to feel a bit, empowered in a way, and
Yeah.
not be disappointed for my high standards.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
No,
that.
you're good. You're good. You said you come to America?
I was living in America. I was a master's degree program at the University of
Gotcha.
Maine, and I also live in New York City. So I have dated in both states. So
Gotcha.
I'm aware of what is happening there with the high walls and the defense systems. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you should definitely come back, Charisma. You should definitely come back. There's definitely some viable options in America, specifically around North Carolina. I don't know if you've been to North Carolina before. You said New York.
Never.
You should come back. You should come to North Carolina and visit and see what they have to offer there. Okay, I would highly recommend it.
North
Okay.
Carolina, okay.
All right, Charisma.
I didn't even know about it, about the culture there. I have no idea.
All right, we'll talk more. We'll talk more. You have a good one, love.
Thank you.
CC's back. Y'all better get to tapping. CC gonna be on that ass.
Right, better get to tapping. We're not even at 60K. It's almost 2 hours up. But also, Coach, can we reset the queue because it is showing like 30 something plus people in the queue, and I know they're not all there. So
Okay.
we can cancel everybody's request, and then they can request who's actually in the room still.
Okay, I'm just hitting accept on as many people as possible. I know the most recent people are still
We'll
here.
have you do that, and then the mods we won't bring anybody up, so we can
Cool.
figure out. Yeah, you want to do your 5 people.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. We can kind of cancel everybody else for right now. They can come back up.
Okay.
Trying to see where my guys at.
All right, hold on. Let me cancel on my end, and then I guess the rest of the mods, if you guys can cancel, and then we'll reset. So if you did request and you're still in the room, just wait and let us reset on our end, and then we'll bring everybody up as they're. Oh, sorry, Eva, I didn't mean to. Okay, awesome. Let's continue to tap. We have 30 minutes, so let's get up to at least 100K. Let's tap. Thank you, guys.
Chat, was charisma pressure? I couldn't see. When I hit y'all's like profile, appreciate you, CC. Profile picture, it's like very small. So I can't even make out anybody's features. That was an educated guess. I need my guys to confirm. See the second, I appreciate your opinion more than others. What was the okay. Appreciate you, Monte. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Maz, add her to the spreadsheet that we started. All right, let me see. Donna, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Great, thanks. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, but I just have a quick question. I'm gonna ask my question and then give you like a little synopsis. So I just want to know if I'm in like a hopeless relationship, or if I've been holding on to it for too long, and maybe we might need to go our separate ways. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with my son's dad, and I guess in July we would have been together for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to dive too much in like the whole avoidant thing, because the other live the other day was like just straight avoidance.
Yeah.
But he is a bit of that, unfortunately, and I would say I'm pretty secure. I don't really have any issues speaking up how I feel or having hard conversations or even being told anything difficult as far as my end. Like, I welcome all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He, on the other hand, does not. It's like really hard for him to be uncomfortable or hear things he doesn't really like to hear. And I feel like at this point in our relationship, like I'm about to be 32, he's 30, 3. So I feel like at this point in our relationship, like I can't help you grow in that aspect of your life. Like I can try to grow on my end and then make sure that helps our relationship, but I can't force you to grow on that end. And I feel like for me at this point, it's starting to feel kind of like a little lonely. Like I feel like it's starting to feel like there is just like emotional intimacy missing for me, like for my liking.
Sure.
I don't think he really noticed it that much. I feel like for some men, they get kind of comfortable. I'm not saying he never was like trying to tap into his emotional side and things like that, but I feel like as we continued on, it's gotten kind of lazy. And men just sometimes need to understand that women are always going to need that. We're going to need that validation. We're going to want our minds picked. We're going to want to like talk and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to give you a synopsis, so I'm going to stop here. So you can ask me whatever else if you need me to make more sense.
Okay, so the core issue is that he's not like showing up emotionally present within a relationship?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. And you're trying to determine whether or not you're wasting your time in this relationship?
Pretty much. I don't know if I'm being too strict with wanting something like that. I don't think I'm being too strict, but I feel like maybe am I not being like considerate of someone else's growth, but I'm like, I don't have control over somebody else's
Okay,
growth.
let's ground this into specific examples. So give me an example of like how you would want him to show up in the relationship that he's currently not doing.
So I guess I would just like him to be okay with just talking. Like, you know how most couples can sit down and be like, hey, this made me feel this kind of way, or yada yada. It's like he can't do that. Like he resorts to like being like immature or childish or just like having like unnecessary commentary when it's just like, just say what your issue is instead of just like turning it into like a high school like back and forth kind of thing. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it's not like sometimes I don't feel like I'm in a adult relationship.
Mm-hmm. How long have y'all been together?
Almost 4 years.
And he's always been this way?
It was a struggle in the beginning, yes. But I tried to give grace because obviously we're not all perfect. I wasn't perfect in the beginning as well. Like,
sure.
Sometimes he would say I would come off a little demeaning or, I would yell and things like that. So I've worked on that. I'm currently in therapy. And it wasn't intentional. It's just like growing up. That's just pretty much how my family communicate because we're Caribbean. So we're kind of like straightforward. He's Caribbean too, but I mean, like his upbringing was just a little different from mine. So,
mm-hmm. Okay. So through the process of therapy, you kind of unlearned those behaviors?
Yeah.
Okay. And he has not unlearned his behaviors or has not learned new behaviors?
I don't think so because I don't think he sees anything wrong with it. That's the thing. I feel like I'm pretty much like one of the first people that point out some of these things, and it's like I feel like his family kind of coddles him. So it's almost like I'm just nitpicking at him. When essentially the things that I'm saying that he can work on, these are things that you're going to need in your life. Like not just a relationship. I mean, like it can be a coworker, it can be job, it can be whatever. It's just like being able to have uncomfortable conversations. Like it's just, I feel like it's a life skill.
Mm-hmm. So give me an example of an uncomfortable conversation y'all had. How did you approach him?
Okay, so let me think. I mean, like typically I feel like I would walk on eggshells when I try to talk to him. So now at this point, like sometimes I'll say like, hey, can we have a conversation? Just the other day, matter of fact, perfect example. One of his female friends made a post, just like a photo of them, and was like, thank you for being my person. So for me, that was like really weird. I don't know. I'm not trying to be that kind of person, but I feel like that just crossed the boundary. Like he's not like someone that's like disloyal or like, like cheater and stuff like that. That's really not his thing. It's just that sometimes I think he lacks boundaries because based off of his upbringing, he doesn't like see it. So I brought it to his attention. I'm like, hey, can we have a conversation? Because like I was kind of moody today. I didn't really explain why I was moody. So I feel like that was kind of immature of me. So I'm going to let you know why I was upset. I explained to him that I just didn't like the post. I felt very uncomfortable. I don't have an issue with the girl or anything like that. I know her. I don't have an issue with her, but she knows you're in a relationship. And I think it's very odd to call another woman's man your person. Like that is weird to me. And his response was just like very off-putting. He's like, I don't even think she meant it like that. Or like, I don't even know what you're referring to. Like, she didn't mean it like that. I'm like, I didn't say that she meant it any kind of way. Like, you're immediately invalidating what I'm saying, and it comes off like you're defending her. But that's because you're just not good with your words. Like, you're not even good at being just saying, like, you know what? That makes sense, but give me a second. Let me sit with it.
Did you say that you're not good with your words?
No, I did not say that in that sense, but
Okay.
I have a habit of like, I'll say something like that. So that's like.
So you will say something like that?
I surely will say that. Like the other day, I told him I feel like he just can't reach me as far as he can only reach me as far as he can reach himself.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So that's your main complaint in the relationship is like you cannot have hard conversations with him without him becoming defensive.
Pretty much, and for me, that makes me like kind of draw back a little bit. I feel like that like for me, I feel like that adds into like intimacy, and that adds into like vulnerability and safety and all that stuff. And if I can't just talk to you about just something without you just like taking it like it's like an attack on you, I just don't know how we can really grow further, because you have to be able to sit in uncomfortable conversations. Like,
and this is your only complaint, or your main complaint?
My only complaint. It's just my main complaint, because it's like a constant thing.
Okay.
Where I'm not seeing a growth.
Gotcha. In this situation, you could work on your own communication skills. Not saying they're bad, but the reason why I say that is because a lot of people are very like, we live in a culture where a lot of people advise just throwing away relationships at the first like difficult moment without acknowledging that every relationship will have difficult moments. You have to be able to repair. People do not have the ability to repair nowadays. They don't have that ability. They rather just throw it away because it makes them uncomfortable. So they're like, let me just find someone who's easier to deal with. So this situation, you could, if you improve on your ability to communicate, soften how you communicate, use I feel statements instead of statements that make him feel like he's the problem. So more so you're focusing on the problem instead of focusing on him being the problem, right? Which is an important distinction. You could bypass his defenses, right? There's a good book called Crucial Conversations. That's all about having difficult conversations. So this is worth a test to see if it improves things, right? I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work. What I'm saying is I fundamentally believe, like, if you're in a relationship or marriage, like, leave no stone unturned, and before you decide to dip out, right? Because then this can also serve you in your future relationships. Let's say this doesn't work out, right? Well, now you learned the skill to communicate more effectively. So with the next person, right, you could probably bypass certain issues. Does that make sense?
Okay. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I feel like I've tried that. I may sound like I haven't, but
How have you tried that?
that?
How have you tried that?
Well, I feel like I said before, he kind of took defense a lot because of like how I may have approached the situation, like my tone or like my word choices. But a lot of the times, like as far as like my word choices, like I'm not demeaning to him. I just feel like I'm better at explaining something or like how I feel than he is. Like I'm just better at like my choice of words. They're not demeaning choice of words. It's just that I feel like I'm just quicker at being like, hey, this made me feel whatever kind of way, and I can go into detail. Whereas like for him, like he feels like, I feel like it's like an ego thing. Like he just feels awkward to like actually have to like respond in a receiving way. Like I feel like it's just like an awkwardness on his side. So I don't think if I say it nicely, if I say it lower, if I say like, I don't, because I've tried those different things. And
okay. Where did you?
think it's based off of that.
Where did you learn those ways to communicate more effectively?
Well, I recently started therapy maybe like 4 months ago, but this is something I've started working on my own because I'm like I said, I know myself. I'm very secure in who I am. So I know like things that my weaknesses and things that I need to change. And, everyone in my family would pretty much say like, Sedona, like her mouth is like a lethal weapon. So I know, like I'm not. I'm asking specifically, where did you learn how to more effectively communicate? But that's the thing, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just something that I'm trying to teach myself, like, before I got into therapy. It's just therapy just added on top of the teaching. So I didn't learn from someone because no one around me really has effective communication, I would say.
So your therapist is helping you communicate more effectively?
Yes, as of right now, yes.
Okay. That's fair. I would still look at the book. Reason why, let's say you were at a 3 out of 10 before you went to therapy with your communication skills. And then you got into therapy, worked with your therapist, and now you're at a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe being at an 8 out of 10 is the inflection point. Inflection point meaning when change is made. You didn't go from a 3 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. So you're not in a situation, you're thinking from a binary perspective, where like either you're good or bad. No, it's a spectrum. How good are you? Meaning, always get better, right? So you don't have to do this. If you want to leave, by all means leave. But if you want to make sure before you leave that you can honestly say you tried everything, try to improve it even a bit further. Because by your own admission, you said when you talked to him, you're good for taking a shot or saying that he's like saying things in a way that can feel like an attack, right? So that means that there's still room for growth there.
Okay.
But it's up to you. Like if you want to leave, you're not a bad person. It's just like, what do you want to do?
No, I mean, I don't think I have a problem with leaving. I think I just want to know that I've tried my very best, and I don't want to feel like I don't want him to feel like I'm expecting him to be perfect, because I don't. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But I just feel like even though my communication may not be at a 10, it might be at a 6, at least I'm like making an effort to try to get to that 10, right? And I would like for him to also make an effort on his part for us to reach a middle ground. So
I hear you, but you also said this was the main issue in the relationship. So that means that there's other things he's doing that you like.
No. Like this is the main issue, because it's just been a long-term issue. Like all the other issues is just like we're just two different people, and you're not dating someone for them to be exactly like yourself. So that those like issues are not worth like breaking up, or like it's not like we're cheating or we have like infidelity and like lying and like we don't have any type of openness. It's just a matter of like not being able to reach each other in hard conversations, or just conversation overall. Like there's just a disconnect, I believe, in that specific thing.
Yeah, it's I'm sure that he tries in other domains, or else you wouldn't be with him, right? And the truth of relationships is sometimes within a particular context, you may be in a situation where you have to put in more effort. With this person, you may have to put in more effort when it comes to communication.
Okay.
That's just how all relationships are, though. So like swapping him out with somebody else, you're always making trade-offs, right? That's an economic concept. Like you're never going to have everything in one person. So the next man may be a great communicator, but then he's dropping the ball on this other thing that your current man is doing. So now that becomes the issue. So you're really just swapping problems, right? So if you actually put more effort in this space, it could improve. It does not mean it will improve. But if it doesn't improve, you can fundamentally say it won't work because I gave 100% in this department, this very important department, and it still did not help. So now I can cleanly walk away with no kind of regrets.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, love. Best of luck to you, all right?
Thank you, too.
Ash, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
My question is, how do I rebuild myself after being in a relationship where once I let my guard down, that person pretty much wasn't who they pretended to be in the beginning of the relationship. And now that we broke up, I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling dependent. I don't know what to do.
And your question is what again?
It's basically how do I rebuild myself now? Because since I'm stuck and dependent on the person who they pretended to be before, things changed, before things got toxic.
In what way are you dependent on them?
Well, we're roommates, so that's one thing. I still have to see them every day. And we just spent so much time together. We worked together. We've been together for 6 months. That's it. That's the longest relationship my partner has had. I've been in longer relationships, but I think she kind of just cut it off and started to show her true colors.
Okay. And when you say rebuild yourself, what do you mean? What does it mean to rebuild yourself?
Because a lot of my friends are saying that I lost my light, I was really bubbly, I was really outgoing, and they just started to see me slowly draining and, not as happy as a person. And I feel it too now that we're not together. I'm in my bed, I don't know what to do with myself, I'm sad.
Okay. Well, then you have to leave the living arrangement, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Eventually I'm gonna move, but right now I can't. I'm probably gonna move in the next couple months.
Okay. That's the core of your problem right now. You're still in her space. So you could think of her or this situation as an energy drain. And it's hard to stop the energy drain when it's still present. Right? So the first thing is you have to remove yourself from the situation. And while you are still in that situation, minimize contact and start spending more time outside of that environment.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the core of the issue. I mean, you're probably going to feel mostly like this the longer you remain in that environment. So that should be the priority, is getting out of that environment.
Right? Yeah, I agree. I think, well, I guess breakups happen. I was pretty much, I was hoping to hold on to what we had, but the reality is setting in. She's talking to other people. It's probably just not going to end up working out.
But didn't you say that she masked who she really was and she's a worse person now?
Well, when we first met, she was, very affectionate, very loving, and she kind of matched my energy of being bubbly and stuff like that. And then, one day she just started saying yeah, I'm not an affectionate person at all. She would be silent with me for long periods of time while we're together, and it just got really, really extremely toxic. And we have a 7-year age difference. I'm 29 and she's 36. So that also kind of played a part in, everything that happened.
Okay. Well, I was asking because it seemed like you wanted it to work out. So my question would be, why do you want it to work out, considering that you don't like who she is?
I want to hope that she could, be that person that she was when we first got together.
That's not who she is, though.
And what'd you say?
That's not who she is.
Right. Yep. You're right. So maybe it's my fear of being alone. I have an anxious attachment style. She has an avoidant attachment style. So it's all about me rebuilding myself now that we're broken up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. You'll make it happen. It's just you have to fully let go of the situation, even internally. Don't hold on to don't cling on to any hope. This fundamentally does not work. You know that now. So yeah, you'll start feeling better once you move out of her space and you can fully grieve and move on with your life. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, love. You take care.
You too.
Right. I got any guys in the queue? Where my guys at, man? I don't think I got any guys in the queue. Oh, the ladies scaring my fellas away. They don't want to ask their questions. So many women in the chat. You a guy, bro? Got it. Come on aboard, brother. What's up, man?
I used to like, I met this girl at a party, and then we slept with like 3 other dudes that same night, and then slept with me, and then we started dating, and I always got this feeling like of being insecure, because she used to be like a model, but like she was really flirty, and I couldn't tell if I was being toxic or she was being toxic. I couldn't tell what was real and what was not real.
Okay, I'm a bit confused. You said she slept with 3 guys the same night at a party?
Yeah, it was like an orgy.
Okay.
With like lady boys, gay dudes, straight people.
The downside about the guy callers is they're always the trolls. Very rarely is there like a woman troll. The guy callers are always the trolls, man. Let me see. We got anybody else in the queue? Because if not, we'll wrap the call-in segment. Let me see. Is this a refresh button? Nope. What's this button do? What does switch spot mean? All right. Well, hold on. Do we got one? Let me see. Why is it duplicating for y'all mods? Like the queue's duplicating? I don't know why it's doing that.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it is. I don't know who's in the queue and who's not, because it's the same people. But on
That's
my
weird.
end, no one's in the queue anymore.
Okay. All right.
But also asking, when you are done with the panel, can you like remove it so we can pin questions, or you just want to like whatever you see, you just respond? Because we can't do it when you have a panel. We can't pin comments.
Why would we need to pin comments?
Just, to help you out. Mm-hmm.
No,
Sometimes
I'm asking.
you be asking for an answer and we see it.
No, I mean like what kind of comment? Like give me a use case. Like have you seen a situation where a comment should be pinned? I just need to understand what. Okay.
Yeah, like when you go to that segment, the chat keeps moving very fast. So.
Oh, so not the call segment. The.
No. Yeah, when you're done with the panel, if you remove it, we can pin.
Okay.
We can pin the comment, so it's like, I don't know, I think it stays up for like 60 seconds.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's necessary. Like I kind of latch on to whatever comment like makes me want to answer. So like I'd rather use my best judgment on that. But I appreciate it.
Right? I got pizza Hannah. It's 11. It's my lunchtime.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Just wanted to throw that out there. That's an option.
No, I
if ever.
appreciate you. Yeah, I like to just rant during that time, but yeah. It's all good, love. Appreciate it, though. Let me get this last caller, though.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, last call. What's going on, Spoiled?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Am I clear? Is my background good?
I can't... audio, yeah. I can't see a visual or anything.
Okay. No, I meant audio.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently single. I'm dating. I went through the avoidant and anxious whole situation. I realized my behavior influenced a lot of my partners. Well, not influenced, but I attracted what I attracted because of attachment style. So I worked on that. How do I like now? I've upgraded in a lot of ways. I've worked on myself. I've taken care of myself. I've done things for myself that I expect my partner to do. But dating is very hard to, I guess, stand out. Like, make sure that I am seen as a higher value woman. I don't want to get into those technical terms, but just to explain what I'm saying, just like a higher value woman. In your opinion or expertise, what would you say are some ways, or how do you recognize a woman that is just doing more for herself, that's like standing out from the rest? Like, how would, it's just hard dating, so I'm just trying to get some advice on how to make me stand out from a lot of women who say they want a provider, or I don't want to say those things. I'm not looking for just that, but I do want a high caliber guy.
Okay. How are you defining a high caliber man?
Morals, like he has values, like family values, like he knows what he wants. He is consistent. Just like those things that make you a healthy human being, I guess.
Okay. And you're having problems finding guys like that?
Yeah. Like, if I do find one, maybe, I have a friend that always says somebody's either chasing somebody or getting chased. So I'm not getting the attention that I require. It's just always something that I can't be anxious, so I have to stand on my standards. So I just, let it run its course, and it just doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. When I hear you describe this, someone who has morals and family values, my brain goes to, there's a lot of men like that, so that must not be the extent of what you're looking for. Women tend to do this. You ask them what they're looking for, and then they'll like just index on like, oh, he has to be kind and nice. That's not all you're looking for, though, right? He also has to be handsome, right? Very attractive.
Yeah. Well, right? Yeah, I'm not an outside shallow type of person. I'm not like super, like, I'll date, if he's shorter than me, I'll date him. If he got a little weight, I'll date him, because I feel like things can always, well, not the shortness, you can't do anything about that, but you can always change stuff. So
gotcha. Okay, so you'll date a short king. Nice. And even if he's not in phenomenal shape, you'll still entertain him. Okay, let's make him more sense. Where are you finding the men to date?
I honestly wasn't gonna do social at all. I said I would go out. I would go out, get dressed, take myself out, and I actually do meet men that way. But a lot of times they're married. They're married or they're in a relationship. They're like, yeah, if I was single, I would talk to you. So I'm just not. I guess I'm not having good luck.
Okay. So you're meeting men like when you go out?
Yeah, I do. But one of them that was single, it was more like a networking thing. He was a realtor. I don't think we had a attraction. He was another race, and I kind of like my black king, so. Okay. So the only way that you're meeting men is when you go out? Well, now I've opened the door for socials.
Okay. For social media?
Yeah, social media.
Okay. Yeah. Have you talked to anybody on social media?
I have.
Okay.
Especially in the past, but like I'm trying to reinvent myself, I guess. Especially when it comes to dating, so I can meet my husband. I'm not famous, but I'd like to have that family.
Okay.
So I open the door for socials.
Okay. So when you go out, where are you going? Where you're meeting men when you go out?
Just to a restaurant I want to try. I'll sit at the bar. But last time I went to a Jamaican restaurant. Just any food place I want to try. Yeah.
Okay. So You will improve your odds when you start putting yourself in environments where you become a regular somewhere, right? And there's a community aspect to what you're doing, right? Right now you are going off to one-off environments, like restaurants, sitting at the bar. Sitting at the bar is more hookup territory than it is I found my wife territory, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be an environment issue. So you are better off putting yourself in situations where like you're trying out a hobby, or you plugged into some sort of community, right? Where you can get to know the people and they can get to know you, and you can kind of build a connection over time. That's why it was easier to find relationships like in high school and college, right? You're around these people all the time. And then you build up familiarity. So you want to kind of plug into those environments. Really, a lot of dating issues are downstream from social issues, meaning people who have a very vibrant and active social life and have a community, a stronger sense of community, typically don't have as many dating issues.
Oh, okay.
Because also within the community, there's other like influences. Like, let's say, for instance, you're meeting within some sort of community atmosphere where everyone knows everybody else. People are less likely to ghost you. They're less likely to do you wrong. Not saying impossible. It's less likely because their reputation will take a hit.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Right. So when you meet them in a situation where their reputation won't take a hit, there's no external influence that is stopping them from engaging in a certain way.
Yeah, I'm thinking about any past relationships I had when I met them through friends or like in those type of settings, and it was definitely different. Didn't have ghosting and all that. So that was good advice. Thank you.
Absolutely, love. So yeah, you put yourself in those environments, you drastically improve your odds. I mean, you ultimately can't control the timing or when things happen, but you can definitely optimize like how you position yourself. Okay, and when you make this change, you'll be in a better position.
Yeah, that's what I needed to know, how to position myself to be in those environments where I can attract like good people, not even just dating. I just had that question, but just like community. That was a good word. So thank you.
Absolutely, love. Best of luck to you, though. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, no more calls. What's going on, chat? How we feeling? How are we